I landed a gorgeous girlfriend, and of course, I had to show her off on Instagram. One of my buddies saw the post and sent me a text. Hey man, not sure she's the one for you. That girl's lifestyle is expensive. I was pissed at the time. I just figured he was jealous. So what if she came from money? Who says I can't date a rich girl? Later, I learned I was wrong. It wasn't that she came from money. It was that she worked at a high-end gentleman's club called the Sterling Club. My Aunt Carol was the one who set me up. The girl was from my hometown in Ohio, but had been working in Chicago for years, supposedly in the health and wellness industry. The second I saw her, I was hooked. Her name was Chloe. She had flawless skin, a killer smile, and a style that screamed big city sophistication. She seemed to like me too, and on our very first date, we were already talking about getting serious, maybe even marriage. I was ecstatic. I posted a picture of us on my Instagram, a selfie where she was beaming. The caption was cheesy, but I didn't care. Here's to the rest of my life. Every season, every moment, it's all you, my dear Chloe Jiang. The likes started pouring in. Most of the comments were just congrats, man, or a bunch of fire emojis. But then there was one comment that threw a wrench in the works. It was from my friend Mark. Careful, man. That girl's one of those Sterling girls. I saw red. So what if she was a Sterling girl? Did that mean she was part of some old money family from a fancy part of town? Who made a rule that I couldn't date an heiress? I knew how people could be. They won't see you doing well, but never better than them. It was pure, unadulterated jealousy. So, I ignored his comment. If anything, it made me like Chloe even more. A few weeks after we started dating, Chloe told me she was pregnant. I was overjoyed, a little smug even. Mine was that good, huh? A regular sharpshooter. But with a baby on the way, the marriage talk had to get serious. I set up a dinner for our parents to meet. My folks were thrilled, but hers were even more ecstatic, almost desperate. Everything moved fast after that. We settled on the wedding date and agreed on the finances. Her parents weren't asking for much, just that we show we were serious by putting a good chunk of money down on a future home. Leo, Chloe said, snuggling up to me on the couch. Since the wedding isn't until next year, I should probably head back to Chicago for now. My job is really demanding, and things are super busy. I didn't want her to go, but I had to respect her ambition. Okay, I said, holding her tight. But you have to promise me you'll take it easy. You're pregnant now. No more hustling so hard. You need to rest. Chloe gave me a sweet smile. I know. Don't worry. And with that, she was on an Amtrak back to the Windy City. Over the next few weeks, I called her every day, checking in, asking how she was feeling. My own job was swamped, so I couldn't get away. I promised her I'd visit the first chance I got. Finally, that chance came. On a Friday morning, my boss told me I needed to go to Chicago to close a deal. I grinned. I wouldn't tell Chloe I was coming. I'd just show up at her door and give her the surprise of her life. I had no idea that the surprise wouldn't be for her. It would be for me. A massive, life-altering shock. I took the morning train to Chicago. Business first. I went straight to the client's office. I thought I'd be done by lunch and could head over to Chloe's, but closing the deal took way longer than I expected. The client, a guy named Vance, was meticulous. He read and reread every single clause of the contract, analyzing every word. We dragged on from morning until evening before the contract was finally signed. But hey, the outcome was good. This deal came with a huge commission. The $25,000 her parents wanted us to have for a down payment would be pocket change after this. So, I was in a great mood, not even a little annoyed by the delay. Vance was the one who felt bad. Leo, I'm really sorry about this. We've been cooped up in here all day. I haven't even had a chance to properly host you. I smiled. It's all good. We've been so focused on the contract that lunch had just been takeout he'd ordered to the office. Now that the work is done, Vance said, let's go out tonight. On me. We'll have a proper celebration. He had his assistant start making arrangements. Honestly, all I wanted to do was leave and find Chloe. But in the world of business, once a deal is signed, you celebrate. It's an unwritten rule. Skipping out would be bad form, especially since Vance was a major client I wanted to keep for the long haul. I needed to use this dinner to build our relationship. Finding Chloe would have to wait a little longer. At dinner, Vance and I hit it off. We were around the same age and had a lot in common besides business. As the meal wound down, he leaned in with a drunken, conspiratorial grin. Leo, come on. Let me take you to a real fun spot. I knew exactly what kind of fun spot he meant. I try to get out of it. Mr. Vance, I've had a bit to drink. Maybe some other time. No way. He grabbed my arm. Look, I consider you a friend, which is why I have to show you a good time. If you bail on me now, don't even think about renewing that contract next year. Trapped, I had no choice but to agree. But I made a silent promise to myself. He can do whatever he wants. I'm not touching anyone. I'm about to be a married man. My fiancé is pregnant and still working hard. I can't betray her. Vance's driver pulled his luxury SUV up to a building with a discreet but opulent entrance. I got out and looked up at the sign. The place was impressive, way classier than any club back in my small city. The name was interesting, too. The Sterling Club. Wait, Sterling? My wine-buzzed brain felt a jolt of familiarity. The name sounded so familiar. I'd heard it or seen it somewhere before, but I couldn't place it. Before I could think any further, Vance slung an arm around my shoulder. Come on, brother, he boomed. Time for some fun. The inside of the Sterling Club was even more lavish than the outside, and it hit me with a wave of sensory overload. Vance was clearly irregular. As soon as we walked in, a line of beautiful hostesses greeted us in perfect unison. Welcome, sir. The floor manager came scurrying over. Mr. Vance, good to see you. The usual. Vance laughed. I've got a friend with me tonight. Give us the best you've got. Right away, sir. The manager led us with a practiced smile to the VIP 888 suite. Vance gave me a wink. This place is technically just for drinks and karaoke, he whispered, but all the girls here. They're available to take out. You get me? He chuckled. We sat down on the plush velvet couch, and a line of women filed into the room for us to choose from. Honestly, they were all stunning. A-plus bodies, beautiful faces. But Vance wasn't impressed. I told you my friend is here. I want the best. Where are Chloe and the others? My stomach clenched. My fiancé's name was Chloe. Hearing it here, in this place, felt like a slap in the face. The manager bowed apologetically. Mr. Vance, I'm so sorry. Chloe and her group are with another client right now. Why don't you pick a few of these lovely ladies to start with, and I'll send the others over the second they're free. Vance sighed, resigned. He turned to me. Sorry, brother. We'll have to make do for a bit. The ones coming later, they're the real premium talent. I just gave an awkward laugh. Whatever you think is best. Seeing my hesitation, Vance didn't wait. He scanned the line and picked two of the prettiest girls. Vance was a pro at this. The guy who'd been a stone-cold negotiator a few hours ago was now a master of sleazy sweet talk. The girls were pros, too. One of them had Vance roaring with laughter, completely captivated. The other one draped herself over my shoulder. Hey, handsome, she purred. First time here? You seem a little shy. I gently lifted her hand off my shoulder. Let's just have a drink, okay? I smiled politely. I poured a glass of red wine and clinked it against hers, downing it in one gulp. Vance laughed from across the room. Leo, loosen up. A man's got to learn how to relax. Then he went back to his own fun. The girl beside me put her hand on my leg this time. My name's Roxy. Make sure you ask for me next time you come in. I forced a smile and nodded. Will do. The vibe in the room was making my skin crawl. I made an excuse about needing to take a call and stepped out into the hallway for a breather. I hadn't walked more than a few feet when I saw a familiar figure down the hall. Chloe? She didn't see me. She was laughing and talking with a few of the girls, stepping out of another suite and getting into an elevator to go downstairs. My heart sank into my shoes. And then Mark's comment on my Instagram post hit me like a ton of bricks. Careful, man. That girl's one of those Sterling girls. Could it be? Had I completely misunderstood him? Was he not being jealous, but trying to warn me? A hot rage burned through me. I rushed to the elevator and went down to the lobby, searching everywhere, but she was gone. The alcohol was hitting me hard now, and I started to doubt myself. Did I really see her? Was I just drunk? She was in the health and wellness industry in Chicago. She couldn't be working here. Defeated, I went back to the suite. Roxy immediately latched back onto me. Where'd you go, sweetie? You were gone forever. An idea sparked in my head. Why not just ask her? Hey, Roxy. I started trying to sound casual. Vance was just saying there's a girl here named Chloe who's the best of the best. Is that true? Roxy pouted. What's that supposed to mean? You think I'm not pretty enough for you? I shook my head. No, not at all. I was just curious. What's her name? What makes her so special that a guy like Vance calls her premium? Roxy smirked. You men are all the same. Hear about a pretty girl, and you can't help yourselves. She leaned in closer. Fine, I'll tell you. Her next words felt like a lightning bolt straight to my brain. Her name is Chloe Jiang. She's our top girl. Honestly, she's gorgeous, but not that much better than the rest of us. I mean, this is the Sterling Club. Every girl here is handpicked. The reason she's number one is because she's got the skills. She's sweet, she knows what to say, and she knows how to make the clients happy. I was trembling. It was her. I wasn't mistaken. She had lied to me. She told me she was in health and wellness. Was this what she meant? Hey, if you want to request her, you better do it soon, Roxy added casually. She's not going to be working here much longer. My voice was low, tight. What? She found some nice guy to marry her and take care of her. A nice guy? I spat out, venom in my voice. So, a nice guy deserves to be deceived like this? Roxy jumped, startled by my outburst. Well, what's with you? Why are you so angry? I reined it in. Nothing. It's just, I can't believe any guy would be that stupid. Roxy laughed. Nice guys are stupid. He's about to be a dad and doesn't even know it. My brow furrowed. What do you mean? She's pregnant. But the baby isn't the nice guy's. It belongs to this freeloader she's been keeping around. But the freeloader can't marry her right now, and he sure as hell can't afford to raise a kid. So, a cold sneer spread across my face. So they decided to find some sucker to raise the kid for them? Roxy smiled. Exactly. Why else do you think she's in such a hurry to get married? Hearing this, I felt a rage so intense I thought I might actually explode. It all made sense now. Why she was so eager to sleep with me on one of our first dates. Why, by some miracle, she got pregnant on the first try. It was all set up. A calculated plan to make me the fall guy. Around 2 in the morning, Vance was completely passed out. I helped his driver get him into the SUV and sent him home. But I stayed. I was going to catch Chloe red-handed and expose her for the liar she was. I stood outside the entrance of the Sterling Club and called her. No answer. I called again. Straight to voicemail. I wasn't surprised. It was exactly what I expected. She was probably busy with her real boyfriend, looking for a quiet place. Sure enough, a few minutes later, she called me back. Now, what's up? Her voice was drowsy. It's so late. I was already asleep. I fought to keep my voice even, burying the fury. Where are you? In my apartment with my roommate. What? Oh, I'm in Chicago. Send me your address. I'll come over. She sounded shocked. You're here? Why didn't you tell me? And why so late? I let out a soft, fake laugh. I just missed you so much, I couldn't wait. I just hopped on the last train. Come on, send me the address. She started stammering. Well, my roommates are all asleep. It's not really a good time for you to come over. How about this? You find a hotel for tonight, and I'll come find you first thing in the morning, okay? I replied calmly, sure. Then I hung up. An hour later, at 3 a.m., I finally saw her. Chloe, arm in arm with a bleach-blonde pretty boy, walking out of the Sterling Club. Babe, let's just go home tonight, she was saying. I'm pregnant, I can't. You know. Come on, he whined. I came all the way out here to pick you up. Don't I get reward? It's fine, don't worry about it. Are you crazy? This is your baby in my belly. Aren't you worried something could happen? The blonde guy just smirked. The kid's not going to be calling me dad. So what do I have to worry about? Chloe playfully slapped his arm. You're horrible. If you keep talking like that, maybe I'll just get rid of it. No, don't do that, he said, pulling her into a hug. Baby, you know I'm broke right now. Just let the nice guy raise him for us. I'll make it up to you later, I promise. Chloe's expression softened into a sickeningly sweet smile. You are so bad. But listen, the nice guy is in Chicago now, so don't contact me tomorrow, okay? I stood frozen on the sidewalk, watching them walk away. I was being played for a complete and utter fool. What had I ever done to them? Why would they be so cruel? Did they have any idea that a scheme like this could ruin someone's entire life? The rage in my chest felt like it was about to detonate. I made a decision right then and there. I was going to get revenge on this trashy couple. I was going to make them understand that even a nice guy has his limits. The only reason I didn't storm out and confront them on the spot was because a much better plan was already forming in my mind. The next day, I met up with Chloe. She came in for a hug, all smiles and fake affection, but I pushed her away. I looked her straight in the eye. Are you hiding something from me? What? Her expression flickered with panic. No. Of course not. No. I let out a cold laugh. Funny, a friend of mine is a regular at a place called the Sterling Club. He says he's seen you there. A lot. The air went still. After a long, heavy silence, Chloe finally looked up, her expression hardening into a defiant mask. Fine, so what are you going to do about it? What am I going to do? I want to know what you're going to do. I yelled, letting just enough anger show. You're pregnant. Why are you still working in a place like that? What if something happened to you? What would I do then? Chloe's jaw dropped. She was completely thrown. Wait, now, you're mad about that. What else would I be mad about? You don't mind that I work there? I shook my head decisively. The past is the past. What you did before me doesn't matter. All I care about is that you're with me now. Besides, you're carrying my child. If not for you, I have to think about the baby. I paused, then looked at her with feigned suspicion. This baby, it is mine, right? Of course it is. Chloe shot back instantly. Leo, I swear on my life, this baby is absolutely yours. Really? Yes, really. If I'm lying, I hope I get struck by lightning. I smiled. Good. That's a relief. Don't worry, honey. From now on, I'm going to take good care of you and the baby. Chloe was completely sold. I figured she'd met guys who were understanding, but she'd never met a guy this understanding. A man who didn't care one bit that she worked at a gentleman's club, who only got angry because he was worried about her health during her pregnancy. She threw her arms around me. Leo, you're amazing. I promise. I'm going to be a good wife to you. I'll quit today and come back home with you. I seized the opportunity, taking her hands in mine. You're right. You need to quit. But you don't need to come back. Why not? I smiled. Because I'm going to give you the best life possible. And I want our child to have the best education. We're staying in Chicago. It's a much better city than our little town. But Chloe looked stunned. We don't have a place here. Where would we live? We'll buy one, of course. I said with a grand gesture. We'll get a luxury condo in the best part of the city, and I'll put it in your name. Chloe's face lit up with pure, unadulterated joy. She was completely swept away. And why wouldn't she be? Here was this incredibly forgiving man who was now promising to buy her a condo. Oh, Leo, you're the best. Whatever you say. There's just one thing, I said, shifting my tone. I'm a little tight on cash right now. I can cover the down payment, but we'll have to get the mortgage in your name. Chloe hesitated. But the monthly payments will be huge. Condos in Chicago aren't cheap. You silly girl, I said, stroking her hair. You think I'd let you worry about the mortgage? The commission from that deal I just closed will come through in about 6 months. The second it does, I'll pay off the entire loan in one lump sum. The only reason we have to buy now is because this building is in high demand. It's in the best school district, has all the amenities. If we wait, they'll all be sold out. I pulled out the signed contract with Vance's company. Chloe's eyes widened. Vance Corp? They're one of the top 10 firms in the state. Of course, I said smugly. Their CEO, Mr. Vance, is a good friend of mine. Once this contract pays out, my commission will be $750,000. At the mention of Vance's name, a strange look crossed Chloe's face for a split second. I laughed to myself. Of course she knew him. He'd probably been one of her clients. But seeing that contract, a solid proof of my future earnings, was all the reassurance she needed. Okay, she said, her voice firm. Let's do it. Let's buy the condo. I took Chloe on a tour of a high-end condo building. We didn't just look at any unit. I made sure we saw the premier model in the best tower with the best views. The price tag was steep, just over $800,000. The real estate agent was slick and friendly. Sir, are you ready to put down an offer on this unit? I smiled and shook my head. It's not for me. It's for my fiancé. I gestured to Chloe. She's pregnant, so maybe you could find a place for her to sit and rest. The agent immediately fussed over Chloe, leading her to a plush chair in the VIP closing room and bringing her snacks and bottled water. I leaned down and smiled at her. Honey, you just relax. I'll go over the purchase agreement. If everything looks good, all you'll have to do is sign. Chloe nodded, beaming like a princess who was used to being spoiled. What Chloe didn't know was that this luxury building, despite its fancy appearance, was struggling to sell units. The entire real estate market was in a slump. Because of that, they were offering a special promotion, 0 down payment mortgages. That meant I didn't have to put up a single penny. Of course, a no money down loan came with a much higher interest rate. But what did I care? The loan was going to be in her name. I quickly negotiated the terms with the agent and brought the paperwork back to Chloe. Honey, you just need to sign here and here. Without even glancing at the documents, she signed her name with a flourish. When she was done, she looked up at me with adoring eyes. Leo, you're so good to me. I feel like the happiest woman in the world. She thought I had just dropped a massive down payment and was going to pay off the rest of the loan for her. I gave her a bland smile. You deserve it. Chloe had just signed 2 documents, the purchase agreement and a contract giving the developer full power of attorney to secure a bank loan on her behalf. All that was left was the final closing at the bank. A few days later, the loan was approved. Once again, Chloe signed the final papers without reading a word. She was practically floating on air. And why not? She'd just gotten a luxury condo in her name for free. But as happy as she was, I was happier. This woman who had tried to play me for a fool had no idea what she'd just done. She hadn't just acquired a condo. She had acquired a debt. With the high interest, the total amount came to over $1.2 million. She might have been a sterling girl who made fast cash, but even for her, that was a crippling sum of money. What about my promise to pay it off? That was a joke. Why would I pay it off? It was her condo, her debt. What did it have to do with me? But it wasn't time to show my hand yet. I put on a concerned face. Honey, money is going to be really tight now. For the next 6 months, you'll have to handle the monthly payment of about $5,000. But as soon as my commission comes in, I'll pay off the rest, okay? She believed all my money had gone to the non-existent down payment. She nodded eagerly. Of course. I have some savings. I can cover it for the next 6 months. I had to stop myself from laughing out loud. 6 months from now would be right around her due date. The moment that baby was born, I would show her exactly what happens when you try to screw over a nice guy. Chloe was overjoyed with the keys to her new place. She immediately dragged me to an interior design firm to look at renovation plans. While we were listening to a designer talk about different styles, her phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen, and her expression changed. Honey, I have to take this outside, she said, quickly walking out of the office. After she left, I told the designer I needed to use the restroom and quietly followed her. I could hear her hushed voice from around the corner. Why do you need more money? Okay, Fine. I'll send you 1,000 later. No, that's all I can spare right now. I have to make the mortgage payments. Are you stupid? I only have to pay for 6 months. Then he's paying off the whole thing for me. It's basically a free condo. I've already got it all planned out. Once it's paid off, I'll transfer the title to our baby. Okay, I have to go. The nice guy's still inside. And listen, don't call me for a while. I don't want to risk anything. A cold, hard smile spread across my face. You really have it all figured out, don't you, Chloe? You really don't hesitate for a second when it comes to screwing over the nice guy. I slipped back into the office just before she hung up. When she came back in, I asked casually, who was that? Oh, just a friend. For the next few months, Chloe stayed with her parents to wait out the pregnancy. I used work as an excuse to see her as little as possible. At one point, she asked me when her family could expect the $25,000 we had discussed for the down payment. I laughed it off. You know, things are tight right now. Don't worry, I bought you a condo. Do you really think I'm going to stiff you on the family contribution? You'll have it before the wedding. That seemed to satisfy her, and she didn't bring it up again. 6 months flew by. Chloe was wheeled into the delivery room and gave birth to a baby boy. My parents were ecstatic. Chloe's parents were bursting with pride, acting like their daughter had accomplished some great feat. Only I stood there, smiling a cold, empty smile. Excellent. The plan was now in its final stage. I didn't have to pretend anymore. Honestly, the fake affection I'd shown her these past few months was making me sick. After the baby was born, my original plan was to secretly get a few strands of his hair for a DNA test. I already knew the result, of course, but I wanted the hard evidence to shove in her face. But there was a complication. The baby was born with severe jaundice and needed immediate treatment. As a doctor came to draw the baby's blood for testing, I followed him. Excuse me, doctor, I asked. Could you tell me the baby's blood type? If you want to know the blood type, you'll need to fill out this form and wait by the lab. I filled out the form and waited. A few minutes later, the report was in my hands. It clearly stated blood type A. I smiled. This saved me the trouble of a DNA test. I walked back to the delivery room waiting area. My face was a thundercloud. I grabbed my parents. Damn, Let's go. We're going home. My mom was baffled. Home? Leo, Chloe is still in recovery, and my grandson is in the NICU. What do you mean, go home? I let out a chilling laugh. Mom, that baby is no grandson of yours. He has nothing to do with our family. My mom froze. Leo, what on earth are you talking about? Chloe's parents, who were standing nearby, glared at me. Leo, you can't just say things like that. My smile grew colder. Can't I? See for yourselves. I threw the blood type report at them. I'm type B. Chloe is type O. It is genetically impossible for us to have a child with type A blood. My mother, a former high school biology teacher, understood immediately. Her face turned to stone. Chloe's mother, however, was still confused. She knew the child wasn't mine, but she didn't understand the science. What is this? What are you trying to say with this stupid piece of paper? What does type B and type A even mean? Before I could answer, my mother shot back, her voice dripping with rage. If you don't understand, go read a book. It's not our job to educate you. With that, my mom grabbed my dad, and the three of us walked out, leaving Chloe's parents standing there in stunned silence. As soon as I got home, my phone started ringing off the hook. It was Chloe. I answered, and her shriek filled my ear. Leo, what is your problem? How could you do this to me right after I gave birth? I chuckled. Does that baby have anything to do with me? You. Her voice suddenly softened. Leo, please, just come back to the hospital. Let me explain. There's nothing to explain. We're done. Go find your blonde, pretty boy. There was a long silence on the other end. Finally, she spoke, her voice laced with venom. So you knew. You knew all along. If you knew, why didn't you just say something? If you had said something, I wouldn't have had this baby. You set me up. I laughed again. I gave you a chance. I asked you point blank if the baby was mine. And what did you say? You swore on your life that it was. You'd rather risk getting struck by lightning than tell the truth. Also, you could trap a nice guy into raising another man's kid. Did a nice guy desecrate your family's graves or something? Why do we deserve to be treated like this? She was speechless. Finally, she resorted to one last, desperate ploy. Fine, you want to break up? Okay, but your commission should be coming in this month, right? Pay off the mortgage like you promised, and we'll call it even. I almost laughed out loud. Even now, she was still dreaming. Was she that stupid? Or what did she really think I was? Your condo is your problem. Why should I pay for it? You're the one who told me to buy it, she screamed. You can't just back out now. I replied coldly. Who can prove that? The deed is in your name. The loan is in your name. It has nothing to do with me. Leo, don't you forget, the down payment came from you, she yelled, her voice cracking. If I default, that money is gone. She tried a different angle. Look, just pay off the loan, and I'll sign the condo over to you. Just give me back the money I spent on the mortgage these last 6 months. It was clear she was just trying to get out from under the debt. A cold smile touched my lips. What down payment? There was no down payment. It was a zero-down deal. I'm not losing a dime. There was a dead silence. Then, in a voice of horrified disbelief, she whispered, What did you say? 0 down. Now, you planned this. You planned this from the very beginning, didn't you? I let out a soft chuckle. Did I plan anything? The 0 down payment was written in black and white on the contract. It's not my fault you were too lazy to read it. That was the final blow. She had no leverage left. She started begging, her voice choked with sobs. Leo, you can't do this to me. You can't just leave me. How am I supposed to pay back over $1 million? I laughed. You need money. Don't forget, you're one of Sterling's finest. With that, I hung up and blocked her number for good. Relief. Pure, unadulterated relief washed over me. That's what happens when you mess with a nice guy. Over the next few months, Chloe tried to contact me from different numbers, sending a barrage of texts. It was obvious the pressure was getting to her. Sometimes the messages were vicious threats. Leo, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. Other times, they were pathetic pleas for mercy. Leo, please give me another chance. We were good together, weren't we? Even if we weren't married, we were still a couple. I treated every message like spam and never replied. Eventually, the messages stopped. I guess she finally gave up. A year later, I was back in Chicago to renew my contract with Vance. After we finished our business, he insisted on taking me back to the Sterling Club. I tried to refuse, but he was persistent. And to be honest, a small part of me was curious. What had happened to Chloe? When we got there, I found Roxy, the girl from my last visit. "Hey," I said, sliding into the booth next to her. "That top girl you told me about last year, Chloe. Whatever happened to her?" Roxy shot me a playful glare. "Is that any way to greet me? What? I'm not pretty enough for you. Always asking about her." I smiled. "No offense. I was just curious. She was the top girl, right? She must be doing pretty well for herself." "Ah, don't even get me started," Roxy scoffed. "Heard she got dumped by that nice guy she'd hooked, right after she got stuck with a massive mortgage. Can you believe she's a mom now and still has to work in this business to make ends meet? What about the baby's father? Is he helping at all?" Roxy rolled her eyes. "That blonde freeloader? Please. He was never going to step up. Honestly, Chloe was an idiot for falling for a guy like that. All he ever did was spend her money. He had zero sense of responsibility. The second her income dropped because she had to pay the mortgage and raise a kid, he took off. No one's heard from him since." She shook her head, looking almost sympathetic. But hearing it all, I just felt a deep, satisfying sense of justice. It was karma. All of it. She had tried to trap a nice guy, to ruin his life just so he could raise a child for her deadbeat boyfriend. In the end, her perfect little scheme blew up in her face, and she was the one left with nothing.